Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian again. Spoiler. Spoiler, it's been a couple of months, but Luke Skywalker's in The Mandalorian. And Mark Hamill is thanking Mandalorian director Peyton Reed for revisiting his character.
Right, Peyton Reed, who did Ant-Man,
Yes.
was the one who did the season 2 finale episode where Luke Skywalker showed up.
Yes, and Twitter is not happy about that. We have a lot of people who are like, stop making fun of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, all of a sudden all these people are
Stop
showing
it.
up, because they're salty. The man babies didn't just go away after the last time. We never actually said what was said. We should probably show that.
Yeah, we probably
should. So
should.
first of all, Peyton Reed said, go ahead.
Dear Hamill himself, when I was a kid, this photo hung on my bedroom wall. Star Wars and Luke Skywalker in particular meant a great deal to me.
As it did too many.
Yep, some things never change. It was an honor and a dream come true to work with you on The Mandalorian. Thank you. That's all he said. And then he responds in kind. Dear Mr. Peyton Reed, I'm so grateful to have given the unexpected opportunity to revisit my character when he was still a symbol of hope and optimism.
But he never said anything about The Last Jedi.
Your assured direction and kindness was a crucial element in the experience and means more to me. I can say he did not take a dump on The Last Jedi. Well,
obviously he's implying the
in
sequel
a
trilogy.
roundabout way he did.
But here's the thing, that all these people are crawling out of the woodwork, and then they're using this opportunity to again attack other fans. And this is what I have a problem with, because people like us have been saying you're allowed to like the sequel trilogy, but I'm allowed to not like it. That's the issue here. The issue here is that you cannot get over your own arrogance enough to see that some people are allowed to have a different opinion than you. And if someone has a different opinion than you, it obviously is because there's something wrong with them. Maybe they just like better. Maybe what I like to me is better than what you like to you. I just have a different opinion than you.
You're not allowed to have a different opinion on Twitter. We know this. Even if you try to go someplace else and have a different opinion, they will chase you over there and then shut your platform down. We know this. Yeah, like this one. I really wish you had stopped throwing shade at your Last Jedi character, which, in my opinion, was your best version of Luke.
Exactly. Again, your opinion. Most fans disagree with you.
Stuff like this only empowers the alt-right trolls.
Come on, seriously?
Who hated that movie and gives them more ammo.
Exactly. See, right there you go. Exactly what I've been talking about.
So, here's the thing. Mark Hamill himself was not happy with his portrayal of Luke Skywalker. This is provable.
He told them he didn't think it was going to go the way they thought it would.
Yeah. And, he tried to talk Rian Johnson out of it. Didn't go well. And you could see his lack of enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. Notable lack of enthusiasm in his body language when he was doing the press tour for The Last Jedi. He was kind of slouched down and he just looked like...
Well, he wasn't even allowed to speak in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. He got hosed. Hamill got hosed. Luke got hosed.
And it's all because they were trying to undo Luke Skywalker as the hero so they could elevate their heroes. But I love this, in my opinion. Well, in your opinion, you're allowed to have your opinion, which I said you're allowed to like the sequel trilogy. Anybody who likes it's allowed to like it. The problem becomes when you are not allowed to dislike it, like this. If you don't like it, it's because you're an alt-right troll. Literally, that's what he said.
Yeah, you have to blame JJ, too. You have to blame JJ because people don't understand The Last Jedi was set by JJ. This is a talking point that the media has been using, by the way.
Yes, it's all the same. And they all come out of the woodwork right now. Like, all of a sudden, there's this concerted effort that they're all coming out of the woodwork to start, saying this stuff. Because last time he got attention for people for commenting about him. And now they're trying to stop it. You
were a symbol of hope in The Last Jedi, too.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't. You were depressing and sad and swigging disgusting green milk straight from the alien teat. It was not Luke Skywalker. It's not what people waited 30-some years to see. Mm-hmm. It was an embarrassment. It was a disgrace to the legacy of Star Wars.
Just look at all these. The Last Jedi Luke had an actual character arc.
There was no character arc. He had his character arc in the original trilogy, and they walked it all back.
Right. Yes.
He had his character arc.
It's just hilarious to me.
Oh
so when people are thanking Mark Hamill, or Mark Hamill is thanking Peyton Reed for giving him a chance to revisit his character in a way he thought was more authentic to the character he portrayed for years, the character he made mean something to people. He thought this was a more authentic portrayal of the character, and all these people are coming out of the woodwork to say, The Last Jedi. It's laughable. It is absolutely laughable. They go on about how they're allowed to like the sequel trilogy, which I agree. You're completely allowed to like the sequel trilogy. The difference is, I say you're allowed to like it. If I don't like it, you call me an alt-right troll. Well, except the fact that I'm also not a man baby, and I'm not a Republican. Not that anything wrong with being a Republican. I have lots of friends who are.
So before we get into it anymore, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 170,000 subs. Thank you. Hoping for 200,000 soon. We bring you content like this, mocking Twitter because it deserves to be mocked.
Well, it sounds like there's a definite targeting. Like they're like deliberately like, okay, last time it got all kinds of news, everybody's excited. We can't have that. The story group's in danger. We can't have that. We need to send all our lackeys out to start raising hell about The Last Jedi and tell Mark Hamill to shut up.
Yeah, so they always turn on Mark Hamill. Why would Mark Hamill listen to Twitter when Twitter turned on him when he posted a very innocuous photo of the original cast hanging out in the Millennium Falcon? And he said, yeah, this is what everybody would like to see. It's like, Mark, you're just the alt-right trolls, you're just feeding into the frenzy. It's like, you know what? Mark Hamill is very outspoken in his politics. There's no way anyone could mistake Mark Hamill for being right-wing.
No.
Okay, let's put it that way. And the fact that this gutted him as badly as it did, because that is his legacy.
Because it's not about politics.
It's not.
It's about good story. If you're making it about politics, then then that just proves our point. If you're making this about political things and saying that people don't like it are alt-right trolls and that because they don't like The Last Jedi, then you just completely played your hand, because that was a 2016, 2017 play where basically they just blamed it on anything anybody had a problem with. It was because they're male, they were alt-right, they were white, they were whatever. And it's, of course, a bunch of lies and bullshit narrative because it's not the case in reality. But there's nothing political about it. There's nothing political about liking Luke Skywalker in the old trilogy, the classic trilogy, better than liking him in the new one. There's like absolutely nothing political about it. One sucked and didn't feel like Luke Skywalker, and one did. It's just as simple as that. No politics involved. So stop trying to shove your flipping politics into every single argument and trying to make it political because you have no other leg to stand on, and you're just such an effing unimaginative coward that you have to constantly make it about politics when it's not even political.
Oh, God.
Grow the fuck up. Sorry, Mom.
It gets better. Here, Gooch Cooper.
Well, no, Gooch, what are you?
Luke in The Last Jedi was a symbol of hope and optimism, rising above his and the Jedi's failures to become a symbol that reignited the resistance.
Nuh-uh, that was Rey.
Despite your mixed feelings on his portrayal, you know disingenuous folks are going to twist this to fuel their fan rage, right?
Says a disingenuous person taking a simple thank you and making it into a playful Last Jedi.
Apologize to Rian Johnson right now. This is classless.
Okay, well, why wasn't Rian Johnson apologizing to Mark Hamill and all the fans when he was making comments about fans? Why? Please explain.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, I've never seen them. They're just desperately trying.
Look, you guys have been outvoted by the vast majority of fans, by Disney itself, by Mark Hamill himself.
And no matter how much you on Twitter, it's not going to change anything. Just like, what you tried to tell everybody else when they were mad about it when it happened.
Yeah, here. I thought he was a symbol of hope and optimism in the sequel trilogy. No need to trash Last Jedi. He wasn't. People are pointing out.
He never said that.
He never brought up The Last Jedi. He's just like, thank you. Thank you for letting me play classic Luke again. Oh.
And here's the thing, too. It's like, they're going on about Twitter and they're making it about The Last Jedi and they keep whining about it, which he never said that, first of all. But like a really concerted effort. But they kept pushing this narrative that it was just a vocal minority of people who did not like the sequel trilogy. And as we found out, both, from the way things performed, financially, the toy sales, everything else, the reaction to The Mandalorian, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that is not true. It is simply not true. And they're still trying to go on about it. The alt-right trolls are going to take this. You mean like the alt-left trolls that are jumping over Mark Hamill for just making a comment about thanking somebody for his character meaning something to them? What the hell?
He should be used to it. I don't think he really takes it seriously anymore. Like I said, after they attacked him for simply putting up a photo of the original trilogy cast together in the Falcon like most fans expected.
That's because that's what he was right. That's what everybody expected and wanted.
That's what everybody wanted, and he got jumped for that. I think at that point, I would say Mark Hamill probably stopped listening to Twitter.
What it seemed to me by his reaction to all the positivity about Luke with The Mandalorian, that he was like, I think he was genuinely disheartened and just upset because it meant a lot to him, and he thought that it didn't matter to anybody else, and that the people that were like pushing this narrative on Twitter for the last 3 years and at Lucasfilm with the story group and Xing out his face and all this shit, he honestly thought people just didn't care anymore. And I think he's just pleasantly surprised and moved that people care that much.
Yeah, bringing Luke Skywalker back on The Mandalorian the way that they did turned a lot of people's opinions on Disney Star Wars back to the positive. It was probably the single best move that Disney has done since they acquired Star Wars.
Right. It's the one that felt the most authentic anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I don't care how much you people want to ree and scream on Twitter and make accusations, and not only against Mr. Hamill, but against the fans. It is going to trigger all the alt-right fans. Again, would you stop with the stupid? If you don't like the sequel trilogy, it's because you're a man baby. If you don't like the sequel trilogy, it's because you're alt-right. If you don't like the sequel trilogy, it's because you're a dystophobe. Bullshit! It's been disproven over and over and over again. Time and time again. A lot of people didn't like it. And they're not white, straight, and male. And they're not Republican either. Morons.
Again, nobody can accuse Mark Hamill of being alt-right. He's not even right. He goes on about politics all day, and most of them are it's left-wing politics. So that's a stupid argument. Luke Skywalker meant a lot to everybody. Luke Skywalker was a hero to generations for decades, and the Lucasfilm Story Group, in my opinion,
which I think is behind this whole Twitter push.
Yes, they came in and they decided they were going to take a dump on Luke Skywalker, and there's been discussion.
If you go to my article, I even have the picture of the X on it.
Yeah,
you mean that?
Yeah, they've been trying to actively assassinate Luke Skywalker within the halls of Lucasfilm. They wanted to get rid of Luke.
We've seen it.
Yeah, we've seen it. We saw how they treated Luke in the animated shorts, and we've seen them try to demean Luke in other ways. I mean, there are tie-in books where they talk about how Luke Skywalker basically just got lucky with the Death Star. It was
that's right. Which is not what happened.
They've tried to destroy Luke Skywalker.
Technically, it was her dad.
Yeah, technically it was her dad.
But we can't have that narrative because that would be a man. And we can't have that because, oh my God, their little tiny brains would explode. How dare they?
She copied a floppy disk and got blown up.
Yeah, stop the patriarchy. When it's not even about that. It's just about, good characters and good storytelling. That's what it's about. People are just tired of these forced talking points. And then if you're trying to argue that that's not the case, your reaction to things like what Mark Hamill said just prove that is indeed the case. You are literally just proving everybody else right. I mean, do you not see this?
So there's probably a lot of things getting intertwined here because, again, if you believe the theory that there is a kind of a civil Cold War going on at Lucasfilm, you've got one group, the story group over at Lucasfilm, trying to push the High Republic and all of this, which is definitely designed for Twitter. The Twitter crowd, but then it's being undermined by Luke Skywalker. So all the Star Wars news is basically about how amazing it is to see Luke Skywalker come back in true form.
Right, and so they're so pissed they send the whole squad over there.
Yeah.
And it's probably like on some Reddit thread or something like that, that somebody from the story group with a fake account tried to get them riled up to go, well, you need to go tell them.
Because nobody gives a shit about the High Republic now. They're like, oh, we got Luke Skywalker back. Disney's listening.
Yeah, they're actually behind the scenes supposedly blaming Luke Skywalker for the High Republic doing bad. It would have done bad either way because everybody's tired of this agenda-driven bullshit. If it was good, give us good stories and good characters. When you read the write-ups they were pushing for the High Republic before it even came out, the write-ups were even like, she's the bestest, greatest, most powerful ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, just...
stop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so you've got that going on, and then we've got the situation with Gina Carano going on. So all this stuff is basically, the Twitter had control and they had the ear of Disney for the last half decade when it came to Star Wars, and they've spent all this time being like, this is our Star Wars now, bitches. And now it's like, now we're going to roll it back to Luke Skywalker. Yeah, we got Gina Carano on there who's openly conservative. And
we got Mark Hamill who's openly,
left
liberal.
wing. Yeah, and he's even like, yes, this was a good move.
And they're pissed at both of them.
Yeah.
And they're yelling about politics the entire time, but it's not even about politics.
They lost.
Yeah,
That's what this is about. They lost.
It's about pushing. It's only about politics when it's somebody who doesn't agree with them. When it's somebody who does agree with them politically, it's about, well, you have to stop this because you're being disrespectful and you're going to incite the people like Gina Carano. And it's like, this is stupid.
Basically, how this works, and I've realized this after a number of years of talking into the void with these people. You have to respect me, but I don't have to respect you.
Exactly.
And, respect is earned. Mutual respect is earned. If people can sit down like adults and have conversations, that's one thing. But it does feel, and I think it was Raging Golden Eagle put a tweet out there talking about, trying to reason with people on Twitter. And to me, it feels like trying to reason with like a religious zealot. Like, even if you're having a civil conversation, in the back of their mind, they're trying to find a way to get you to convert. So they're never really
going to happen.
No, but in their mind, it's like their whole purpose is I need to convert you, and if I can't convert you, you're the enemy.
Right, and if you would just respect their opinion, and they, then maybe they'd respect yours. If you weren't spending your whole time dissing somebody and trying to justify why they might not agree with you as something that they're less than a person than you, so you're always on the pedestal and the high ground of you're better. This wouldn't happen. Like back in the good old days, people would agree to disagree, and it worked all the time. You could be friends with people who didn't agree with you on everything.
Yeah.
Imagine that. People were, strong enough in themselves and in their beliefs that they didn't have to be surrounded by an echo chamber at all times to make sure that they only hear back what they put out, to make sure that they know that they're right and moral and upstanding and the bestest ever. And gosh darn it, everybody likes me because my ego can't take it otherwise.
That's just it. It's looking for affirmation.
Grow up.
Everybody wants affirmation. And when you've got Mark Hamill, one of yours, basically, but somebody who's, a regular on Twitter who says the right political things, one of yours saying, yeah, it was really trash what they did to Luke Skywalker.
It was really trash what they did to Luke Skywalker. There's so many ways they could have gone.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It's like you can't say anymore that this is just a bunch of right-wingers because it's not. It's everybody. It was the vast majority of people, I would say, were disappointed in the sequel trilogy for various reasons.
It was just a vocal minority. And of those vocal minority, it's all because they were alt-right Yahtzees.
So
they were all straight-weight male.
So the alt-right Yahtzees cost the Star Wars, the last two movies, $1 billion each probably, cost them millions and billions of dollars in merchandise sales.
Not to mention that this is across the whole world, not just in the United States.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who don't even go onto social media. But, it's always those people because that's the only argument that in their tiny little minds makes sense. And I'm like, meanwhile, people like us are like, you're allowed to like the sequel trilogy. We don't care if you're allowed to like it. What we get our backs up about is when you're telling us we have to like it or we're bad people. The difference is we're not treating you the way you're treating us. And my recommendation to all of you out there who agree with what we're saying and who agree with Mark Hamill and agree with the direction that Favreau is taking as opposed to the story group, my recommendation to you is to make sure that, one, you go out there and support good things when you see it. That you buy Mandalorian stuff, you watch the Mandalorian shows, you buy the things that you like. I buy classic Star Wars because I love it, and I'm trying to send a message that I will buy this, but I will sure as hell not buy that. And it's all about money anyway at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Disney is coming up short in that respect. So they're going to do what?
Money and bad press.
Money and bad press. Those are the two pain points for Disney.
Keep liking all the stuff about Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill, and keep giving them all your attention, and keep giving your opinions on the other stuff. Honestly, and it's gonna the cream will rise to the top, and then that's the direction they'll go in. Hopefully.
Yeah. And if this thing bombs, which I think it's going to, because this isn't, to most people, this isn't real Star Wars. Then that will send a message to Disney. Be like, do more of this. Do more of this, and don't do this, whatever.
Don't do the Twitter bullshit. And to those of you on Twitter, grow up. People are allowed to like Luke Skywalker as Luke Skywalker was in the classics. Mark Hamill, because he's the actor and pretty much brought him to life, is allowed to like the one version of Luke Skywalker better than the version you like. You can sit there and scream into the wind all day. You're entitled to your opinion, but you do not get to call people alt-right or trolls or whatever if they don't agree with yours, because they might not like it because they just felt that they didn't do Luke Skywalker justice. It didn't feel authentic, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the narratives you keep trying to spin. I mean, at least be original for once in a while.
All right, we're going to wrap it up?
Yes.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. May the force be with you.
Yes.
Always.